Hey guys, Bill Soriano here, and this is the weekly recap for the week of March 2nd, 2025. Today is Friday, March 7th. It's about 8 p.m. Eastern time, so the markets have long been closed, and I got some things going on tomorrow. It was a busy week at the restaurant. I didn't get a chance to take any trades actually the whole week, but I did mark up the charts every night, and I was able to, I have about let's see, I think one, two, three, four. I have five pairs to show you uh, today here for the weekly recap that I marked up for the week of March 2nd. Again, we're trading, we're determining the trend on the 4 hour time frame, right? The bias, the trend bias, the recent bias, right? Not actually the long-term bias, but we're just on the 4 hour time frame. So basically, we got this to the point where we're just looking at two time frames. We're looking at the 4 hour to determine the market direction and to identify our supply and demand zones, right? Once those zones are hit, we then drop down to the 1 hour. We wait for that change of character to occur, and then we look for our refined supplier demand zone that's created from that change of character. And that's where we would set our limit orders to trade from. Okay, like I said, I didn't get a chance to take any trades actually on the demo account. But I'm going to show you the trades that I was following here for the week as they were happening. So again, if you don't know what this supply and demand zone trading is all about, you don't know what supply and demand zones are, they're just essentially order blocks, right? I like to call them supply and demand because we know that we sell from supply zones and we buy from demand zones, right? And so you want to watch this video here. I'm going to put the link down in the description, but this is a video I made. When did I make this video? Thought usually it says here. 12 days ago, supply and demand zone trading. Okay, I'll put the link down in the description. So let's start here with AUD CAD, right? Odd CAD. So again, on the 4 hour time frame, we're trying to determine which way this market is going. Okay. And this particular one here, if we go back, we could see a swing high here and a swing low, a new swing high and a new swing low. So here we get a change of character to the upside, right? Uh, and when we get that change of character to the upside, we create this swing low down here. And this swing low down here was never broken, right? Price pulled back. It tried to make a new swing high, but as you can see here, the body of the candle closed all the way down here. And then right here, we get a new swing high made, okay? So what we got a change of character. It wasn't the prettiest looking market setup, but we got this change of character here where the market took out this swing low right here and told us that it may now be turning bullish, right? And then we got this pullback and we got a break of structure here to the upside, right? And that break of structure now tells us that we want to look for long positions in AUDCAD. Not the greatest setup, but there you have it. Now, once that happened, once we got that high there, we identified these two demand zones right here that you want to buy from, okay? And so in that video, I show you how to identify these demand zones, but you could see the first demand zone got blown right through here with all these down candles here. Price came into this demand zone right here, and that's where we want to drop down to the 1 hour. And what we're doing is we're looking for that change of character to the upside, okay? Because we're looking to buy this, okay? But you could see on the 1 hour time frame that price is moving down. So we don't want to just jump in. This is why we look for a change of character, right? We identify a swing high here, which you could identify this area here if you want to. These highs here. You get a candle to close above there, and then you can identify this refined supply zone right here on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, and that's kind of with this candle right here. Okay, right. So we could see here what happens is price comes back, price moves higher, right, which is a good sign. It takes out another level of structure. It's always a good sign to get two changes of character as opposed to when a change of character goes through two zones, that's always better than just one. It pulls back here, and again, depending on which wick you would use here, if you use this wick right here, it would have just tapped you in and then off it goes, right, to the upside. So that was AUDCAD. The other thing you could do sometimes is when you can't find imbalance on the 1 hour time frame, we had imbalance here, but when you can't find that imbalance, sometimes you can use your fib tool, your fib retracement, and if you take it from that low to this high right here, and then if you wait for a pullback to this 71 zone, which you get right here, comes back to that zone and then takes off. So that's another entry technique you can use when you can't find imbalances, right? When you can't find an imbalanced, refined supplier demand zone on the 1 hour time frame to trade from, you can use the fib retracement tool and wait for a pullback to the 71 fib. Okay, that's another way that you can enter. I don't have that in any in that first video I wanted you to watch, but that is something that we will make a video on shortly. But if you did that here, this trade would have went off, and you could see it's a big move up here, right? Another one we were looking at was AUDJPY. So AUDJPY was clearly in a downtrend here. So, I mean, even the Lux Algo indicator was giving us all these breaks of structure to the downside, right? This indicator usually doesn't work as well as it does on this pair right here, because again, in the settings, you have to adjust the swing points. So that'll, depending on what you set that at, you'll get more or less of these. But this is always the external structure, not the internal structure. But anyway, we could see for ourselves, price was kind of moving up here. We got this change of character to the downside, and then we got several break of structures in a row here where we're making lower highs and lower lows all the way down. So this gave us a couple zones here that we could trade from, and this was the first one right here. And again, I'm on the wrong time frame, so that's probably what happened there. Here we get the change of character on the 4 hour, we get a pullback, and then we get the break of structure, right? So that got us to the bullish. Now we're on the right time frame. We're on the 4 hour. Remember, we're going to use the 4 hour to identify the market direction and identify the supply and demand zones to trade from. Okay, so right here on the 4 hour, as we broke structure, right? One of the rules of supply and demand zones or order blocks, you got to have a break of structure. It needs to be an impulse candle, and you have to have a break of structure, and it has to leave in balance. And there hopefully is some kind of liquidity grab, which these wicks are here to the upside. And what happens is price comes roaring back into this zone here, and it goes through it. Okay, you can see that you got clear closes above the zone, and you have what appears to be a change of character, right? Because here's our swing high, here's our swing low. Once a candle breaks and closes above this area, that's a change of character. But one of the rules with change of character, in order for them to be valid, you can't have like, there can't be like liquidity sitting above or below the area. Right here, you see we have these wicks here. There's some liquidity there. There's liquidity there. There can't be liquidity and there can't be imbalances above. Okay. So for me, when this comes up here like this, because you have this liquidity here with these equal highs, you have these imbalances here and another 4 hour supply zone, this is still bearish to me. Now, the only way I would turn this bullish now is if before it breaks this low down here, right? if this were to, if this would have like pulled back and gave us a quick break of structure to the upside, even though we have this supply zone here, we have to look at turning this bullish, okay? But we would have to understand that if we take any long positions, that they're going to run into trouble here at this 4-hour supply zone. But anyway, this was still bearish to me, even though it went through the zone. So when I dropped down to the 1 hour, okay, we could see here we're looking for that change of character because price was moving up here into the zone. And this is where it came into the zone here. So let me just show you this real fast. So this is our change of character right here. So we get that break and close here, right? Telling us the price is now going down. And then we do have an imbalance area right here that you could see here. We have this refined area, but there's just not any imbalance there. Okay. So this just didn't give us a chance to get into it. So right here, actually right here, we get the break of structure. It just barely closes below this wick right here. This candle right here, and then this is our refined zone right here. And you could see that that wick comes right up, touches it, and then pulls away for a nice winning trade here. Let's look at AUD/USD. Okay, again, let's get to the 4-hour time frame. And again, we were bullish here on the 4-hour time frame, right? Price was moving up. We identified this 4-hour zone right here. And there was also a zone down here as well. Okay, price came into this zone. And then we drop down to the 1 hour, right? What happens here? We get this move up to here, or a change of characters right here. You can see how price moves up. We get that change of character, and then it pulls back, but it never quite gets to our zone here, right? So we have a refined zone right here. But price never really gets back to it. Now, again, we could use our fib tool to see what's happening here. If we pull it from here to here, price still doesn't come back. So this is a trade that just would have gotten away from us, right? EUR/GBP is another one on 4-hour time frame. We could see price was, we had this coming down. We had this demand zone. I'm sorry, this was bullish, right? You could see that we took out this high over here, which gave us our bullish structure here. The price comes down to this zone right here. We could see this zone right here. Price comes down, hits that zone. We drop down to the 1-hour time frame, right? Right here. And price comes up to here, kind of takes out this swing low, swing high area right here. And then this wick comes right back. Okay. So this candle right here, guys, that candle right there, that's the candle that breaks the structure to the upside. When that does that, it leaves this zone right here. That's our imbalanced, refined, imbalanced supply demand zone on the 1-hour time frame that we want to trade from. So we set our limit order there, our stop loss goes down here. This candle comes down, the wick gets us in the trade, and then off it goes to the upside, right? EURJPY. This one was actually, this trade was no good here because there was no imbalanced supply zone here. As you could see here, this price action is is not imbalanced, right? There's no you know imbalances there. So there was really no imbalanced supply zone here. And really the imbalanced supply zone is all the way up here, which price never quite got to there yet. So we shouldn't have looked to trade from this zone. Had we looked to get in a trade, it would not be in good shape right now. And then the last one I wanted to show you was NZDCHF. So this was another one where price was heading down. We identified this supply zone. Price went right through it. We had another supply zone right here. You could see all this imbalance. Here's our impulse candle. It leaves all this imbalance, right? It breaks structure. The impulse candle actually breaks structure, right? Then this pulls back, breaks structure again to the downside. But this zone didn't get respected. Okay. Price just blew right through that zone. And one of the reasons may be because this impulse candle here, look at the long wick to the downside. That's a rejection. You like to see your impulse candles look like this with a large body, very small wicks on both ends, right? That's how you want your impulse candles to look. Now, the candle before the impulse candle that causes the imbalance, that can have wicks. These are like good candles. See these are indecisive candles, right? You got a small body in the middle, wicks to the top, wicks to the bottom, right? They're indecisive. Those are good areas that you use to draw your supply and demand zone, okay? But in this case, price went right through that demand supply zone. It went through the top one as well, but then it stopped. And again, you might say to yourself, well, this looks like a break of structure to the upside, which would be a change of character. But in this situation here, you have to really learn how to read market structure sometimes. This is just one move down to me. I mean, this isn't really a pullback here. This is more of just a consolidation. Price is going sideways. And this move here, it really to me is just one straight move down. So for me, now you do have a pullback here, but that's not a sufficient enough pullback for that to be a valid pullback and that big of a move down. Okay. And because of that, that's not a change of character. Your change of character is probably all the way up here. Right. So this is bearish until price moves all the way up to there. Now price stops right here. And again, we have these wicks to deal with here where there's liquidity. So that's kind of why price went through there. Now, if you drop down to the 1 hour, you see here that right here, this candle breaks the structure to the downside, right? See that red candle right there? That's your impulse candle, and it breaks structure, and it leaves this refined supply zone right here. There's your indecisive candle. Price comes back, gets you in the trade right there. If you set your sell limit order right there at the beginning of that zone, you give it a little bit of room to adjust for the spread so that you don't miss the trade. And then price moves right down for you. So there was about 4 really good trades there. One of them we had the wrong zone marked up, so we wouldn't want to trade from that zone. But for the week of March 2nd, there's your weekly recap, and there were some really good trades there that I was able to find using again 2 time frames, the 4 hour and the 1 hour. So the 4 hour we use to determine the current trend bias, the market direction, and we also use the 4 hour to identify our supply and demand zones to trade from. Once price hits those zones, we then drop down to the 1 hour. We wait for our change of character that helps us to identify our refined zone on the 1 hour. And that's where we could set our limit orders at, buy or sell limit orders to get into the trade. Okay. So that's what it looks like, guys. Any questions? get in touch with me. My contact information is below. If you need any information on a company that we're with and the community I'm with, let me know. There's some interesting things going on there. We do have a secret podcast, 10 videos that I could share with you, tell you how to get everything you get when you join our community and the company that we're with. And so there's a lot of things going on there. So get with me if you want information on that, and have a great weekend.